right at it. We've got former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee and the chairman of Forbes Media. He's Steve Forbes. Good to see you, gentlemen. Thanks for joining us. Governor, let's start with you. You can hear the I told you so's across the nation. You know, Americans are looking for positive growth, optimism, but that new CNN poll is a disaster for Biden. We have 8 out of 10 Democrats and independents say no, he should not run again. Doesn't inspire confidence, no mental sharpness. They're not proud he's president. What do you think, Governor?
Well, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how is the play?
Right, exactly.
I mean, this is just the most terrible news you could ever be looking at if you're the president. I mean, there's nothing going his way, and this is his own party that's turned against him. And the first reaction you have is, who are the 18% that think he's doing a bang-up job with Bidenomics? I mean, people are really hurting. $700 a month for the typical American family. They're underwater from where they were when Trump was president. It's just that simple. That's $8,400 a year for a family. Most American families could use $8,400, but that's what lower wages and inflation under Bidenomics has done to them. And they're not happy about it, and they shouldn't be. So,
Steve, what the governor just said, the phone has been ringing off the hook in D.C. for a long time, for years under this Biden White House. JCPenney CEO just had reiterated and said what the governor just said about the household expenses, $700 a month. I mean, and Steve, this CNN poll, it's not an outlier. Biden has plummeted into the 30s in the Quinnipiac, Gallup, Reuters polls on the economy. But he's now getting out of D.C. He's heading to India for the G20. What do you think?
Well, I think so much for Bidenomics. That's really another name for losernomics. And the economy faces very serious headwinds. We all know what's happening to consumers. Payments on credit cards, defaults are going up. Car payments, defaults are going up. Interest rates are now coursing through the economy and having a bad impact. And he keeps making mistakes. Shutting down much of Alaska, absolute insanity. And then even that Asian trip, he's sending to a critical conference this week, Kamala Harris, instead of himself, and dissing off Indonesia. Large population, largest Muslim democracy in the world, is getting the back of the hand from the Biden administration. So everything they do is wrong, and that's why he's not going to be the Democratic nominee in 2024.
Well, who's it going to be?
The question is, I think they're going to try to do a superdelegate thing and try to get Gavin Newsom. We'll see if that works. But he's not going to be the candidate. He's going to withdraw a la Lyndon Johnson in 1968. He knows he cannot win.
What do you think, Governor? Do you think he's going to withdraw?
I think either that or the corruption scandal is going to catch up with him. And it could be that the Democrats are almost hoping that it does, and that way they don't have to throw him off the train. He will be under the train because of all of these issues of 20 shell companies that were used to funnel millions of dollars to his family. And I think as people begin to look at that, they're going to say, not only is this guy not capable of doing the job, but we don't want him doing the job because he's a wholly owned subsidiary of China, Russia, and all of these foreign governments that have paid him millions of dollars, in a backhanded way. So
what the governor just said, the unemployment rate, it's below 4%. Job openings seem decent. 401k stocks are doing okay. But, Steve, Americans see Democrats turning cities and schools into scenes of chaos with public disorder. We're going to, in just a moment, talk to Darrell Issa about New York City Mayor Eric Adams saying what Biden is doing to New York City is destroying the city. Let's watch the media and economists finally seeming to wake up on what Americans have been shouting about for months. Watch this.
Look, I'm not a message expert, but just the facts. Households got into a deep hole because of COVID, because of all the inflation that emerged. They're digging out of that hole now. They are making progress in terms of wages outstripping inflation, but they're not all the way out of the hole yet.
Joe Biden's like that grandpa that you love, that you believe in, you owe a lot, but you start to wonder, would you give this grandpa a high-stress job for 6 more years, or would you want something else for him?
Steve, by the way, wages have not kept up with inflation. The New York Times is reporting Biden's support among Black and Hispanic voters has plummeted 17 percentage points. It might be the worst since Walter Mondale. And his biographer, Franklin Forrest, says it won't be a total shock if he drops out. So, this is really striking information. And it seems like the D.C. media henhouse echo chamber is finally waking up to what voters have been saying for months in these polls, Steve.
Well, that's right. And the other thing about Joe Biden is he's really not in charge. Unfortunately, the far left has taken over the bureaucracy of these agencies, regulatory agencies, and that's why they're on the road to trying to put the auto industry out of business. If they actually followed through on the policies this man has proposed, ostensibly, you would have a depression in this country, destroying the auto industry, mucking up the banking industry and the ancillary industries. This is a disaster in the making, and that's why he's going to go, and they're going to try hope a new face, and nobody remembers what a disaster he was.
Yeah, this is history. We're living in it. Governor Huckabee, Steve Forbes, thanks for joining us.